Hey, what's going on, guys? So in today's video, I want to share with you how you can handle any objection that you get on a sales call and kind of an algorithm, and I'm going to explain how this works, but I'm basically going to show you the pendulum. How to kind of, test prospects when they get on the phone with you so you can kind of prevent objections, so objection prevention instead of objection handling. So I'm going to show you that, and then I'm going to show you an algorithm which I have here, which probably won't make sense to you right now, but how you can kind of fit these pieces as in like little Lego blocks, and so you can handle really any objection that comes up on your sales call. And so that's what we're going to cover in this video, and really how you can leverage this to close more deals. So let's jump right in. So this is the pendulum, and so what you want to do is, and what you want to think about when you get on the phone with a prospect, is that they're going to be either positive, neutral, or negative. So they may get on the phone, they may be like a 3, or they may be a 6, or a 7, or a 10, and sometimes the prospect may be, really close to, a hot prospect ready to buy. And so salespeople, what they do is they go straight into the pitch and tell them, they just go right into it instead of doing the actual diagnosis and the intelligence gathering that they need to really figure out the needs, the pains, the problems, the desires of the prospect, and then sell them on their desired future, or their desire that they want, and not just product and features and benefits, because that may trigger the wrong parts in the prospect's brain. And so what I see a lot of salespeople do too is, say a prospect isn't a bad fit, sometimes they're going to use positivity and like trying to hoorah and trying to get the prospect to go on the other side, use confidence, try and really get the prospect to get in line with that person, right? And so that's not the right way you want to do it. Like if you're on a phone with a prospect and they're overly enthusiastic, typically what I do is someone's like super pumped up, like, yeah, Mitch, like I want to do this, like, I love your video, I love your webinar, like I love this, I love that, I've looked into your stuff, like I really want to do this. Usually what I'll do is I'll use kind of like reverse psychology of them, and I'll actually push them back into the negative, like say like, you know what, John, I don't know if this would even be a good fit for you. I mean, I'd have to kind of see if it is, and if it is, I can definitely walk you through how that works and everything. But I'd really have to see, and if it is a good fit, then I can walk you through the next steps and how we get started with it or not, right? And so usually what people do is like, yeah, John, like, I could walk you through like how this works, and they get so enthusiastic and they just go right into the prospect's trap, because the prospect, their objective on the call is to get options and to see how they can get price from you, to see what your solution is, and then they want to take it off the call and have an option that they can bring home with them. And so you don't want to give them the option, and you want to actually use the reverse psychology, because that's going to sell them more on what you have to offer. And so see here, this is like, if you look at like the hands on a clock, this is like 3 o'clock is a no, and 9 o'clock on the hands of the clock is a yes. And so just so you can kind of see, it's basically a 180, a 180 degree angle that you're taking a prospect through. And so they could either be neutral, positive, negative. And as soon as they get on the phone call, like you can use and kind of gauge the prospect. So as soon as someone gets on the phone, where are they on the scale? Are they on the positive or in the negative? And if they're like in the negative, then you can actually use you can even pull them back even further on the negative scale to, and again, use reverse psychology and start to push them back. Because when you can push them back, prospects will naturally want to come to you. If you're detached from the call, and I teach this with all the clients, is like, come in detached. You're there just to diagnose, see if you can help. If you can, offer the solution. If you can't, either refer them to someone else or just get off the phone because they're not worth it, right? Give them some resources, recommend them some things, because that's a good thing to do, right? And so when you get on the phone, you want to gauge where they're at on this scale, right? If they're, for example, this is like 8 o'clock, 7, 6, right? You can kind of see where they're at and kind of just gauge, are they warm, are they hot, are they positive, are they negative, and then use negative reverse psychology to bring them back if you need to bring them forward. And so it kind of works like a pendulum. If you've ever seen a pendulum, if you swing it from one end, it's going to swing to the other. And so to get someone to really close, sometimes you got to like take it away from them, which I'll show you here, to actually get them all the way back in the negative so they swing all the way into the positive, and then boom, you get the close. And so it's really good way to look at the sales call, and I look at like this a lot, and kind of swinging people back and forth, because at certain parts in the call, you'll notice that people get, hyped up for certain things. They'll be like, they want to do this, and sometimes like it's fine to like take away or almost like back out or pull back from the call, or from actually giving it to them, like take it away, and that'll solidify their commitment to want it even more. So where you can really use this pendulum model, and where I use it primarily, I obviously use it to gauge prospects, and I use reverse psychology and stuff like that throughout the call, which you definitely can. And so it's really key to just have this as like a mental model in your mind, as like a pendulum swinging back and forth. And like I said, it's sometimes even good to send them in the negative. And I'll give you a prime example of this. So, for example, if you're on a sales call, and I'll just give you an example. Say you sell a coaching program, right? Just an example. Say you sell a coaching program, and someone gets on the call and they say, you know, man, I want to do this, but I don't know, man. Like I've taken so many other programs. I just don't know if this would actually get me results. And so you can use this algorithm, which I'll explain here. And this is like building blocks where you can like plug and play you can use this for any type of service or sale that you're doing. But I'm going to give you an example for a coaching business. So you agree, or you agree with them, or you understand what they're saying, or you hear what they're saying. You're basically just basically showing them that you hear them and that you understand where they're at. You kind of you know how it is, right? Then you empathize. So you empathize, and then you put the pain or pleasure. Pain really is like to push that pain points, which I told you throughout the call. You really want to press on those. So I have pain here or pleasure, because sometimes you want to like dangle that carrot in front of them and show them like what they can achieve if they do this, right? And then push them back or take it away. So you can push them back, take it away from them, like take the program away, like no, like I don't think this is a good fit for you. I don't think you should join, right? And then ball in their court. So you're taking the weight of their pain and everything they told you, and you're putting it onto their shoulders, right? And so that's primarily like the algorithm of what I like to do, putting it back on them, and now they have to respond, and now they have to like internally like decide like to do something about this, because you've logically put it in this place. You've taken it away now, because now you don't seem needy. Like most salespeople, they're trying to hard close you. You know, what's the first 4 digits on your credit card, right? And so if you're the opposite of that, you're taking things away. You're basically not giving them what they want. They want to be sold so that they can give you objections, so they can tell you that, oh, I need to speak with my wife, or I need to do this, or whatever. You know, we all get these objections, right? And so when you can do like this algorithm, and I'll actually walk you through how you can use this, it's going to be so powerful for you, because you're actually swinging them in this direction. And usually, as a pendulum, it needs to swing this way so it can swing this way. And so I've seen so many times where I've gotten on the phone with someone, and I've actually taken it away from them. And I told them, don't join, or this isn't a good fit for you, using this process. And I'll show you how you can use it. And it's actually swung them, boom, they close on the call. And it's funny how this works. And I use this in my mind, and I picture this like swinging in these directions while I'm on the call, and I'm kind of gauging where they're at, how hot they are, where they're at on the scale, and I'm kind of pushing them back, pushing them forward, and trying to swing them in this direction, and then boom, we close. And so let's give you a prime example of how you can use this on a call. So agree, empathize, pain, push back, or take it away, ball in their court. So I'll give you an example. If someone's invested into a coaching program, they're not unsure about joining the program, right? Well, you could say, you know, John, you know, I understand what you're saying, man. I know you've taken many programs, and empathize. You know, I've taken many programs myself, man. Like, I remember when I was back in my dad's basement, you know, where I was investing, you know, tens of thousands. I was actually $15,000 in debt when I first got started. So, man, I totally know how it is, and I obviously get how finances work and everything like that. But you just told me throughout the call that, you know, your business hasn't been making money. It's been, you know, stagnant. You've actually been, you know, struggling to get clients. You've been, you know, just going by through like referrals and just trying to pull a rabbit out of the hat. You really haven't had any consistency. You know, your wife, you want her to come out of her job, but, you know, she can't right now because your business isn't making enough money. And so, man, if you're not really if you're not willing to step up and commit, and you're committed to actually making this happen, you know, maybe this isn't a good fit for you. Maybe, you know, you shouldn't join, man, because like I don't want you to come into this with, you know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And that's really not the energy that's going to serve you or us. And so if that's the case, man, like, I don't know if you should even join. I don't know. You tell me, like, where should we go from here? And so, see, it was a little choppy because I was trying to make it up. But you can see how you can use this. Agree, empathize, pain, pleasure, push back, take away, or ball in their court. And so what I did was I agreed with him, like, man, I totally get where you are. I empathize. You know, I was there. I've been there myself. Then I put the pain back in front of him. Like, his wife's not going to be able to get out of her job. He's invested in these programs. They haven't paid off. His business isn't working. It's inconsistent. He's not making enough money. And then I'm taking away. Maybe this isn't a good fit for you. If you're not willing to step up, committed to actually getting results, you shouldn't join, man, because this isn't going to serve you or us. And then, boom, I put the ball in his court, take all that pain, put it back on his shoulders, let him feel that pain, let him sit with it. And then usually I just pulled him all the way back here, right? And now I just take it away completely. And now he's like, oh, man, like, he's right, man. Like, this is exactly what I need. I really need to do this. And then he'll swing this way and be like, you know what, man? And you use silence in this point. You just stay silent and let him, you know, really sit with it. And usually he'll be like sign, like, deciding. And then they'll swing back and be like, you know what, man? You know, let's do it. I'm like, are you sure? I don't know. Like, I don't know if this is if that's a good decision, man. Like, are you sure you want to do this? And so, like, I don't just go for the credit card right away. I'll even tell them, are you sure you want to do this, man? Like, is this something you truly want to do? And I'll, like, do that and say that with conviction. And like, yeah, man, you know, like, let's do this. I really want to do it. I'm like, okay, man. Yeah, we can do it. So, cool. Like, what do you want to use? A Visa, MasterCard, Amex, right? And it's very nonchalant, very, like, I'm totally detached. You can tell how I'm talking. I'm detached from the call. And detachment's so key because in this situation, if you're using this and you're pushing him back, you're taking it away completely, he's actually wants it even more. He wants to do, he knows he needs this. And you're not saying, nah, man, like, you know, you told me this, you're going to do this, you know, we got to do this, you got to step up for your family and all that stuff. I'm like, no, man, like, you told me this. If this is what you want, if not, like, I don't even want you to join if that's the case. But if you do, where should we go from here? Or how can we make this a reality for you, right? And so you swing them, boom, close the deal. And so you can really use this for objection handling. And I really like this algorithm. And I've come up with it just based on so many calls of handling objections, but also how you can use it for any situation, especially after, like, you're in the later parts of the call, because you've gathered all this intelligence that you could use. And you can use this in many different variations. So you can use this multiple times on the call. You know, empathizing. And I call this, like, I call this ruthless empathy. And because, you know, they're kind of contradictory, or like they're complete opposites or inverse. So you're being ruthless, you're not really empathetic. But when you're empathetic, you're not really being ruthless, right? And so I mix the two. And you got to be like ruthlessly empathetic or ruthless empathy, or empathetically ruthless, however you want to say it. I call it just ruthless empathy. And so you want to be empathetic with them, but you also want to be ruthless. And ruthless as in putting their pain back in front of them and showing them and letting them sit with that weight. Put that weight of their pain back on them, and then that usually gets them to feel it. They feel the pain, they feel it, and usually I don't like to use pleasure. Sometimes, like I said, you can use this in many different fashions, right? Like, you know, yeah, man, I totally understand what you're saying. You need to talk with your partner, and, you know, I have a partner myself, man. I know how it is, and I know you guys will really want to get up to that, you know, 100 grand per month mark, and I know I have absolute conviction I can help you get there. But man, if you really need to speak with your partner, is this something you really need to talk with them with, or like, are you in? Or you're kind of on the fence and you still don't want to join? Because if that's the case, man, and you just want to talk to your partner and you're not actually serious about joining, then that's totally okay too, man. But if it's something you want to do, you know, where should we go from here, right? So you can use this in many different fashions, and you can even use it you can mix in different variables. That's why I like to have building blocks, and like I even use this for pitches. I even use this for the whole structure of the call. Like, I don't use a script necessarily. I have a framework and a script, and I give our clients scripts and stuff. But it's really, if you understand these frameworks, you can really just go off the cuff. Like, I can go off the cuff with this stuff now because I have the algorithm, and I know it works because I've done it. I've done over 2,500 sales calls, so I just know how this works. And so you want to be ruthlessly empathetic, or empathetically ruthless, however you want to say it, and really just empathizing with them, so showing them that you understand them, but then also being ruthless. Don't be afraid to put that pain back in front of them. I know a lot of people get they're afraid to be salesy. If you do it in this way, it's not even salesy. It's like you're just plugging in pieces that he told you throughout the call and putting it back on him. He has to make the decision, or they have to make the decision. And I say he, but, you know, they, right? And so you can use this mental model of the pendulum. If they come on the call and they're super, super enthusiastic, use negative reverse selling. If they come on the call and they're and they're in the negative and they're saying, man, like, yeah, I don't even know really what this is about, using the reverse psychology, push them back even more and swing them to the opposite direction. I've actually had guys who literally told me, Mitch, they literally were so skeptical, and I converted them one call because I was so, like, not ruthless with them, but I was like real, raw, authentic. And so this is how you can use it. So if you like this, go ahead, comment below what your biggest takeaway was. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to release videos every single week. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and use this mental model, use it in your business, and watch yourself close more deals and take it to the next level. So really looking forward to talking to you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.